What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Deep CP, and I am back again with another video. And today we're going to do something to tag on to the last video. I did my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. I'm going to put a link in the description to my last video of my top 10 favorite if you've not seen it. So in this video, we're going to do my top 10 tolerable to terrible Christmas movies. And if you like these movies and you enjoy them, that's great. More power to you. Guys, these are just opinions. It doesn't really matter anyway. You can have your top 10 favorite be completely different than mine. But without further ado, let's get into this one. Here's how we're going to do it. Just like in the last one, we started from number 10 and we're going to go to number 1. Number 10 is going to be my most tolerable one. And then number 1 is going to be my most hated. Number 10, Jack Frost.
You know, sometimes it's good to have a big butt.
Guys, listen. I liked this movie to an extent. I like Michael Keaton. He's a good actor. But the story itself is not bad, but it's kind of meh. Like, it doesn't really go anywhere. It has an impact to it. I do feel for him. I mean, he died. It's a dark story, to be completely honest. You get a couple of moments in the movie itself. I kind of feel for him. But the jokes are not that funny. The writing itself just doesn't have enough to give Keaton to work with. So it becomes a forgettable Christmas movie. And it's not a bad movie. It's just forgettable. And it's a shame because this movie had potential to be a lot better. The animatronic work for the snowman is incredible. It's not a bad movie. And if this movie, you really like it, that's great. But I can't say I enjoyed it that much. So it is number 10. Number 9, Christmas with the Cranks. This movie, I have a little bit of nostalgia for because my grandparents really like it. And it's not a bad movie, but some of the jokes are flat. I don't think Tim Allen could save this movie because his character and even Jamie Lee Curtis are jerks. How am I supposed to like these guys? They absolutely are the most self-centered people. I understand you want a vacation and you can save money, and they've been doing this for all these years. Their daughter moved. But they went to such an extreme to the point that they were a nuisance to their neighborhood. And the neighbors themselves are kind of jerks too. It's just a mean-spirited movie. And I don't understand why a comedy around the Christmas season should be so mean-spirited. If anything, it should be the opposite. So I gotta put this at number 9 on my list. Number 8, Merry Madagascar.
You made this mess, now we gotta clean it up. Yo, Skipper, sparkle time. All right, boys, tighten your harnesses and think happy thoughts.
For some of you, you might not have even known that Madagascar had a Christmas special. I can remember that it was more or less just the Madagascar gang had to save Christmas. Santa has something happen, and the main character has to deliver the gifts around the world, yada, yada, yada. Except it's a Madagascar characters. That's the only reason this movie is higher on my list, because I do like the Madagascar franchise, and the actors that played the characters in the movies did reprise their roles in the special. So yeah, that's nostalgic, but at the same time, the special itself is really generic. Does it really do anything that special that other holiday films have not done themselves? So yeah, it's not bad, it's not great, but it's serviceable. Number 7, The Grinch, 2018.
That's gonna get old.
I'm sorry. The music is the only thing that saves this movie from being lower on the list. The animation itself does lend itself to Dr. Seuss's original art style better than the Jim Carrey one. I'll give it that much. Architecture, the storytelling, it really gives that Dr. Seuss feel. But the acting, bland-looking character design, you can admire the hard work that went into this in every animated project, but I cannot say this movie was worth anybody's time. It felt so corporate, and it felt so bland. It was pushed way too much in marketing and merchandise. It was to the point, it didn't even feel like The Grinch. It was just such a rehash. But guys, I can't put this movie any higher. It's not that good. It's the same story that's already been told twice, way better and way better with the comedy and the storytelling itself. So I'm going to have to leave The Grinch at number 7 on this list. Number 6, Deck the Halls.
Yeah, for 1 second I let myself think you were a normal guy and this is what happened.
Blame me for this?
Listen, I really like Matthew Broderick and I really like Danny DeVito, but I cannot stand them in this movie. Their characters are the most self-centered, pretentious people ever. Have you ever met this guy that literally only is obsessed with one thing and that's all he talks about? That's what Matthew Broderick's character is. They had this pretty much I'm better than you contest the whole movie and only make themselves look like jerks. And the thing that Danny DeVito does, it makes me so upset every time I watch this movie. He pawns off a family heirloom of his wife's without asking her to do this I'm going to prove Matthew Broderick wrong thing with the whole lights show. It only makes me hate his character. And it makes me sympathize for his wife leaving him in a part of the movie. I just really, really don't like these characters. Despite having 2 actors that are wonderful, this movie is just so not worth your time. Guys, catch it on cable this time of year. Just skip past it. Number 5, it's a very merry Muppet Christmas movie. I love the Muppets. The only thing I will give this movie, the puppeteering is amazing as normal, but this was around that weird time Disney bought the Muppets. Disney's done some incredible things with the Muppets. I mean, those first 2 Muppet movies they produced were incredible. This movie itself was not that great. The story itself was really, really rehashed. It was A Wonderful Life with Kermit. It was full of pop culture references that were so bland and so a part of that time. It doesn't serve the Muppets for their comedy. You got the joke, but it wasn't that unique or that funny. The punch just wasn't there, and it's disappointing because the Muppets are so much better than that. It's really just a shame to see the potential of this special wasted. The story felt so rushed and all over the place. It's just not that great. I'm sorry. Number 4, 8 Crazy Nights. Guys, I just don't get this movie. Basically, Adam Sandler's character is a jerk. And this guy, Whitey's trying to help him out and be a good friend to him. And Adam Sandler just keeps crapping all over him through the whole movie. The jokes are not that funny. I like Adam Sandler, but this movie is definitely not his best work. Adam Sandler voices both the main character and this character, Whitey. And Whitey's voice really degrades after the movie continues for a while. And it gets old. Felt bad for Whitey, like you feel bad for a guy in a boxing match because he keeps getting punched in the face. But you went to the boxing match, so you knew he was going to get punched in the face. Just like when you go into an Adam Sandler movie, you know the character is going to get on your nerves most of the time. But the comedy's supposed to make up for that. This movie's just not that great. The animation's wonderful, but the story itself is absolutely terrible. There's a couple of songs in there that was good. The voice acting, animation, and music couldn't just save the movie. The story was just that bad, and the characters were that pretentious. Did not like it, can't recommend it. Number 3, Home Alone. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
That's just too many. They should have stopped after Home Alone 2. They couldn't get Macaulay Culkin back for these. And that hurts it automatically. Hell, the budget was a lot lower. The later sequels, the kid actors just were terrible. It sucks to be hard on kid actors because they're just getting started in the industry. But that is their job. And unfortunately, these kids didn't perform that well in the sequels. The scripts weren't that great. Traps were somewhat creative. But after Home Alone 3 was when they really went downhill. I'll at least say Home Alone 3 was tolerable. But it wasn't that good either. None of the sequels were good, in my opinion, other than 1 and 2. So yeah, I cannot recommend these movies at all this holiday season. Number 2, Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh.
This Christmas will never be the same. That's pathetic. If you squint, it looks kind of nice.
But guys, I grew up watching Drake and Josh. I watched it in 2000s. I loved that show. Christmas special just wasn't that good. Josh Peck and Drake Bell don't really have much to work on in the story. It's really bland. I can't really root for them in this special like I could in the show. I really just didn't like them in this. Despite these actors being wonderful, they weren't that great in this. Their characters were so self-centered, and it just really wasn't that good of a story. And the bad guy was kind of stupid. I mean, his whole backstory was because he wanted a chimpanzee when he was a kid. And the whole ending where they got him a chimp was really sweet. But at the end of the day, guys, we could have done better. Nickelodeon has more potential with their Christmas specials. They just chose not to go that high on this one. Alright guys, we're up to the worst Christmas movie on my list. Number 1, Wobots. You guys are probably like, what is Wobots? My brother, when he was really little, watched a channel called Cubo. And this movie was just so stupid. The animation was terrible. The music was terrible. The characters weren't relatable. They weren't tolerable. The voice acting was bad. The animation quality was horrid. The story itself about an orphan boy that's working in a robot factory, and somehow, some reason, these robots and him have to work together to take out an evil threat. And it's not Christmassy. It doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. I can't say at all there's any quality in this movie that's actually worth something. And it's so bad that I can't even recommend you go look it up on YouTube. A better channel to talk about this movie is Saberspark, which actually did a whole reaction video to this. So I'm going to put a link in the description for you guys if you want to go watch that for yourself, because his commentary is actually better than the movie itself. But guys, I have some dishonorable mentions for you. My first dishonorable mention is the sequel to A Christmas Story.
Who wants to go see Santa?
This is amazing. Incredible. We will meet you right here when you're done.
Don't let him kick you in the face.
Huh?
Guys, this movie didn't even need a sequel. The original's great. It's not my favorite, but the original's perfect as it is. The movie's simple. The kid wants a Red Ryder BB gun. He begs his dad. He waits through Christmas. He gets what he wants for Christmas. It's a simple, easy story that was so well done, it didn't even need a sequel. Number 2, Ernest Saves Christmas.
Ho, 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 Vern. Very...
I thought you said this Vern was a friend of yours.
Oh, Vern's just like that. He'll do anything for a laugh.
Guys, I love the Ernest movies. People my age and older appreciate Ernest. Kids now don't even know what Ernest is. I feel like this movie's already obscure, so I don't think it's going to translate to being a Christmas classic when the next generation starts. This movie is not bad. I like Jim Varney. It's funny. Ernest is having to help Santa Claus find the next Santa Claus because he's going to be stepping down as Santa and wants to find a replacement. Ernest goes on this adventure with him, with this teenage girl that really does not have any quality to her except she has an attitude problem. And she's on the naughty list. That's really it for substance in this movie. There's not much going on. It's not that great. It's not terrible. It's just meh. Last dishonorable mention, Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
This is the best Christmas ever.
Go ahead, ignore the title of my movie.
Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
The only thing I will give this movie was the fact they got the original cat in this movie, and that was cute. But other than that, what was the point? What was the point? Guys, some things should just be left as an internet meme. Enough said. Yeah, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to surf at that subscribe button, wave for notifications, and stay tuned for more buried treasure. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere on Mondays and Fridays. Happy holidays, everybody. Deep Sea Pete out. Catch you on the coast side. Woo!